Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you doing today? It's another wonderful day. That promise of the new day, where if you screwed up a little bit yesterday, you'll do better today. And if you did great yesterday, you'll just continue that momentum. We've often discussed how important momentum is in your food journey. And it's just oh so personal and oh so sometimes it's so small. I mean, people would roll their eyes if they if they knew what people like me was thinking about my food and just how to make it a little bit better and how to get about my day and just enjoy it. It's it's always so funny to, everybody else eats too. Everybody else like might struggle in their head with how they want their food to be, how they wish that their food had been before. It's always kind of cool. And so I'm no different, and I'll pick up a lot of people and, in my Uber and Lyft career and just always wonder a little bit about them. People aren't getting into my car with coffee or food, for the most part, if ever. Even in the morning, I'm always surprised that, you know, whether they caffeinate or not, it's not in my presence, and that's kind of cool. So I haven't had any um, messes. I pick up men for the ferry for Nantucket, between 5 and 6, and they've got their little lunch boxes and stuff, but no coffees or anything. It's just kind of funny. I know when I wake up, that warm water with the lemon and the Celtic crystals, salt crystals, and then my coffee. It's like, ooh, that's my treat. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I don't play around with that. I like it, and it's a big part of my day. But yeah, so if you had a great day yesterday, congratulations. It means that you've worked hard to earn it. And don't take it so lightly, because there's a lot of struggle that goes on, and you can blow it in a bite. I mean, that's how easy it becomes. I'm one bite away from the weight that I used to weigh at my tippity top. And some of you might go, "Oh, really, drama," but it's not. That the giving up part, the surrendering. It's funny because first we have to surrender to our like keto or carnivish or carnivore, or just getting the junk out. Even if you've been doing what you consider a great keto program, it could be loaded with a lot of things that could be kind of, if I could curl my eyebrow, I would arch it. Those people that can do that, and just say, really, is that as clean a food plan as you would like for yourself? We do what we do until we don't, but some things along the way could be crutches. Some things along the way we could be spending money on that we think work for us that might not. I know how people have their coffee is a big issue. Some of us put a lot of fats into it, and some of us along the way kind of, smooth that out, and we don't drink our fats. We'd rather have our fats in the form of a fatty cut of meat, or adding butter to something. Maybe I loved my macadamia nut oil on my lettuces when I could have my lettuces, and thoroughly enjoyed that. But as things get cleaner, it's just kind of an interesting um, thing how we can shave it and this and that. So we surrender. Sometimes I remember there was one time I just started buying clothes, big, loose, lumpy, you know, tie at the waist with a string, pants and big oversized tops, because I just figured, hey, I'm going to be there. If this isn't fitting now, the way I'm eating, it's going to be that way. And I totally surrendered to gaining all that weight and doing. I went to visit a friend in Wisconsin, and we were foodies together, which is kind of funny. We were both doing Spark People, but I had my first Krispy Kreme donut. We went for Mexican 2 or 3 times. We had pizza. We had, all kinds of foods that can't help but make an older woman gain weight. There's nothing about escaping that. The only thing I could have escaped with is not gaining, but that wasn't in my wheelhouse, and then the freezer was packed with the things that you'd have after dinner while watching a movie and giggling together. We were just girls for about a week together. And I was totally happy in gaining the weight and not caring. And then something happens where I began to care. And so then I began to pay attention to what I was putting in my Spark People and what I was having. And I started looking for more nutrition in what I was eating instead of more, um, feeding the addiction, the addictive brain that only wanted sugar, white flour, soybean oil, canola, those sort of things. The standard American diet, except the skinnier standard American diet. Not even, I did the healthy whole grain standard American diet for a long time and thought I was doing right. I remember buying those Belvita cookies and eating them and saying, I don't know if they call them biscuits, but they're saying, wow, these sure taste like cookies. And yet, people were saying that it held off the appetite and it did this and that. No, no, not for me. It made me just want to have, another package. And I never quite saw, like, what is it about these? I mean, these are close enough to being Lorna Doones for me. My appetite didn't get, quelled. It was always there for more sugar, more flour, even whole wheat flour. So, yeah, and then, so surrendering to that, but then surrendering to keto and giving up the sugar and the grains, there's a whole bunch of places that we surrendered. And so we don't want to surrender the other way to the junk again. We want to clean up our act and make it as good as possible. I'm getting a ton of private emails now where people are asking me questions about their diet, their habits, their nighttime eating, their snacking, and things like that. And it's still going on. So even though I beat the drum often about, nighttime eating and snacking as just being habits, nothing to do with food, and it's validated. Dr. Sivers was talking about, the snacking, and he said it's just an event. It's an event that has nothing to do with food. It's totally emotional. And I've always felt that, there's no real need for it. And it just sets, I don't know, it sets us up for more. And it's a dangerous slope, especially if the things are keto foods, but not really, the biggest keto bang for your buck. I like to have, well, as you know, I have mostly beef and eggs, and to some people that might not be very nutritious, but it seems to work for me. Yeah, I still take a few supplements. I take some oils like cod liver oil and things like that. I do take selenium, cod liver oil, iodine. Then I have my electrolyte powder, my magnesium and potassium that I sprinkle a little Dr. Price's electrolytes on, and then my 14 grams of fresh squeezed lemon juice in the morning. And I have that with my warm lemon water. I don't have the electrolytes till a couple of hours later, though, because I take my now lowered from 75 to 50 thyroid medication. So there's always something going on for all of us, how we do it. And the more people I interview, the more I love hearing the individual food plans and what really, really works for them and how their head is calmed down and how they have some sanity restored. It really does restore sanity to just get the food plan. I know for me, simple is best. So I know that my Monday through Friday is eggs and beef. But today I'm going to go buy a little piece of salmon. So I'll have half ribeye and half salmon for my protein on my plate, and then my 3 eggs, no cheese today. And I like my non-dairy days because my creamer is now non-dairy Keto, Kitu, or Better Half from Califia. And both make my coffee blonde. I like my coffee a little bit light and satisfy me. And I get, there's a big deal for me with my three coffees that I have every day. I do look forward to them, and they are a bridge. I heard somebody quote that as being a bridge. It's a bridge to getting to my OMAD. And it works for me. It might not work for everybody. Other people can do, dry fasting or water fasting for 23, 24 hours and then have their OMAD. That's not me. But it's just finding what works and surrendering to it a little bit. Some of us hold on to our stuff that might not be the best for us until we don't. Until we don't. That's just it. No shame, no berating, no beating you up about that. It's like we do what we do, as long as you're aware that this crutch might have to go. You might have to kick the cane to the curb with the way that you're having something still, but that's okay, because it's great being a work in progress, and it's fun. I did see somebody wearing a work in progress t-shirt. It's kind of cool. So that's how we do it. What am I having today? I haven't done a what am I having today, even though I do what I ate today with my OMAD. But I still use the Chronometer. They're free versions as well as the $35 version. I don't know the difference because I've worked with people that have sent me screenshots of their Chronometer, and it all looks the same to me. So maybe it's more if you go into the nutrition analysis or something like that. But I am having today 1,321 calories. 1,321 calories. My protein is 125. My total carbs are 1.5. And my fats are 88.8, so 89 grams. So I'm having that ribeye steak, half of the ribeye steak that's left. I'm having the 4 or 5 ounces of salmon, depending on how the fish man cuts it. And I'm having 3 medium Pete and Jerry eggs with the 2 tablespoons of chopped green onions, no Havarti on it, and 2 tablespoons of butter, plus my 3 coffees with the Keto creamer today, the unsweetened. 3 tablespoons, 45 calories. Yeah, that works for me. And what's not to love about a blonde coffee with 3 tablespoons of lightener in it? And the ingredients aren't scary to me. There's no carrageenan in it. So that's what's going on here. Just doing my simple foods. It just works for me. I have my Fathead pizza on Saturday, and with less almond flour than it calls for. And I have my big green egg on Sundays with, last Sunday I had 4 asparagus spears and 45 grams of Brussels, so less. I did not have the cauliflower. It did not cause my digestion to have that distress because the veggies must be just enough. And so that's how I still get to enjoy the veggies from the big green egg in the just enough place. So I like that. So anyway, my email address is below if you need to contact me. PayPal donations are always welcome. Yes, I do have some mugs, and so you can ask about them. I still do coaching. It's very, very modified these days. So it's more about being an accountable person to oversee your Chronometer. That's how I do it. And phone consultations upon request. So that's it. I'm busy. It works. I like being busy. My head gets calm without being, when I'm busy physically, like doing my driving and things like that, and my cell guarding. So have a wonderful day. Love you. Couldn't do this without you. I so appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.